The only one happy with that discount was the client. They didn't even ask for it. Welcome to Simplified Sparky Marketing. A few years ago, I was doing a job including a power pole. I never installed one before, and I reached out to some other Sparkies to figure out who installs power poles. Where would be the best place to get somebody to install a power pole? So someone of my friends that's a Sparky mentioned this company. So what I did was I reached out to them on Facebook and sent them a message saying, hey, look, this is the address. I'm looking to install a power pole here. I sent them some pictures and I don't know, is it like a 4 or 6 meter? And he said, cool, it's going to be X amount. It was cheap at the time. I think it was about $500. It was insanely cheap anyway. So basically they supplied the power pole, they came, they dug a hole, they put it in, concreted it up, and away they went. So it's a pretty straightforward job for them. They probably do a few of these in a day, so I can understand why it was relatively cheap. And I love the way in their terms and conditions, they basically say if they hit a fiber optic, water, other cables, anything in the ground, it's not their problem, it's fully your problem. I've noticed a few of them do that now, and probably rightly so. The dial before you digs and all that should be done by you organising them. But anyway, it all went off without a hitch, and they installed the power pole. But the best thing about this was they discounted me, even though I didn't ask for a discount, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous on their behalf. And of course, I didn't decline. If I was going to get it $100 cheaper, why not? So what had happened was I reached out to them that initial time and I said, hey, look, in a few weeks or a month or so, I'm looking to get a power pole installed in this address, and what does it cost or whatever. So they came back and they said, let's just say it's 600 plus GST. And I was like, yeah, cool, excellent. I'll reach out to you, when it needs to be done. So time passed by. It was a month and a half, and I went into my DMs again, sent them a message and said, hey, I'm ready to install that power pole. When can you do it? Basically initiating, I'm cool with your pricing. I want to do it. When can we engage your services and get this power pole erected, as they say? So then he replied back and he said, great, because we're actually running a special at the moment. We can do it for 500 plus GST. And I said, I'll fucking take it. And this is ridiculous. This is so silly. And I forgot all about this story. And I was like, this is fucking great ammo just to get people thinking, where are you handing out your fucking discounts for no apparent reason? Another thing that happened, this is what triggered this whole thought, was I was working for an existing client. I did work for her maybe 3 years ago. I installed ceiling fans in her apartment. And from day one, they had issues with them. They were clicking, cracking, and it was Elgato, I think, was the brand. And long story short was she ended up getting one of them replaced under warranty and the second one dragged on. And I think it was just a bad batch of fans. So I was at her place last week and I replaced the fan, and she's an artist. So she basically works full time, but she paints for a hobby. And she had all these paintings around her apartment. That room with the bedroom, what was a bedroom with the ceiling fan causing the issue, was now an art room. So I just struck up a conversation. We're talking about her art and, does she sell it? What does she do with it? And she just paints these kind of bizarre, obscure objects and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And she was selling them recently at Christmas, and she was telling me about selling them. And she told me that I sold them for this much or that much. And I said, like, are you making good money off them, or like, can you make a living off? And she goes, oh yeah, it's pretty good money. And she said, I was selling them recently, and she was like, I had an offer for 30 under 30. So 30% off if you're under 30. Then she kind of had a laugh about it and was kind of like, so what was happening was the adults wanted it and the kids would just come up with the painting, thus giving 30% off. I didn't correct her. I was like, your business is your business. But I was like, why the hell would you even offer 30% off? Look, if you're structured with your discounts, it's fair. So hypothetically, if she was selling a painting for $100 and she has it listed at $150 and she wants to make $100, so she discounts it by 30%. So she's like, look, it is $150, but for you, it's going to be $100. The smarts weren't there. She literally was taking a hit every single time. And she was like, oh, the kids were all coming up, and, anybody that was under 30 or thereabouts, I discounted. And it didn't faze her much because she has a full-time job. But I think the moral of the story is, like, these two stories that I just told you, the one about the power poles absolutely unnecessarily discounting. He basically took $100 as he's driving and he fucked it out the window. Like, that's literally what he did, because I was willing to pay the 600 plus GST. At no point did I say to him, I do not agree with your price, I want a discount. He literally handed me a discount for no apparent reason. And I feel a lot of Sparkies do this. I feel that you offer discounts and you don't have your maths dialed in. Like, you're offering these discounts, but you haven't actually inflated your pricing. And I know some of the big dogs as well, when they offer their good, better, best solutions for quoting, their prices are inflated. Or if they've got a membership package where, oh, look, members now get a 20% discount. Whatever the regular price is, it's jacked up for the members, 20%. Then when you become a member, oh, look, it's 2,000 because you're a member. And that's the structure you need in place if you're going to actually start discounting your products. Because if you discount blindly, okay, let's do another scenario. So you are doing a job, you're quoting a job, and it's $1,500. It's $500 for the profit on the job, and $1,000 is the materials. So you get to the job and you say to the client, it's $1,500, and let's say you're nervous, or for whatever fucking reason you go, but we can give you $100 off today. And you're going, in your head, you're rubbing your hands going, this is a fucking $1,400 job. So then you go and you do the job and you go, thank you, sir, I will take that $1,400 now. What you've actually done is you haven't taken $100 off. You've discounted 20%. You've taken, all you're going to be left over with was $500. So now all you're left over with is $400. And this is what needs to get into people's heads. Simple, easy, quick discounts that they pull out of their back pocket. You need to calculate these. These need to be calculated discounts. Otherwise, you're really going to shaft yourself. Like that example, let's say, for instance, you thought for whatever reason the $1,500 was fucking red hot and you just totally forgot about the materials and stuff. And you said, look, we'll give you $250 off if you go ahead with the job today. You've discounted your profits 50% and you're basically paying that client to do the works. Like, it's insane when you actually start thinking outside of the box of what the discount is actually costing you. Fitting for a podcast to kind of make you aware of this, because even the seasoned pros do this. People that have been in business many years, and usually the people that are like, I'm not really making that much money. This could be one of the problems that you're faced with. And where this all stems back to as well is confidence in your pricing around your clients. And it's something I can't stress enough of. It's fucking scary. It's something we all do the ostrich and stick our head in the sand. But when you crunch down what you really need to charge per hour to have the business you want, the lifestyle you want, and the profit you want, and the wages that you want, it's fucking scary. And the hours that you can actually work in the day. I gauge my days off approximately 4.5 to 5.5 hour days. That's what my hourly rate is based off, 5 days a week. And that's what your hourly rate should be based off, because unless you're doing builder work or whatever, construction, that you're on site from 7 in the morning till 3 in the evening and you've got set 8 hours in the day, then you've got 8 hours per day. But realistically, if you're running a service and maintenance business like I do, realistic working hours are 5. Some days I might only work 3 or 4 hours, because I'll go to a job, do a job, and then I'll move or I'll drive. I could drive distance to another job. And then hypothetically, you might only fill up until 2 p.m. and I'll be fucked if I'm going working from 3 p.m. till 5 p.m. in the evening. That's the lifestyle and the business I choose. Is I look at my day, I structure it, and I call it that. If this takes a little bit longer, so be it, but I'm not going working overtime or after hours just to justify trying to make that extra bit of money. I want that extra bit of money made within the day that's in it, that I'm actually at work. If people are asking for a discount of the works, be smart about it. Say, sure, we can remove X, Y, and Z, and that will bring your price down. So if you quote the way I preach quoting about fixed pricing, and they want, let's say they want 10 PowerPoints installed, you can say, look, yeah, sure, we can bring down the price. We can just remove 2 PowerPoints so you can install 8 instead of 10. Don't physically take that money out of your pocket and hand it over. And as I said, there is a time and a place for discounting, but it's when you know your prices and you have got them inflated. And as well, if you know you're absolutely going to cream the job and you're very, very sure of your numbers, then by all means, discount a little bit if it's going to get it over the line, particularly like there and then, or you can get that job locked in with the client like once you meet them. absolutely drop it a little bit, but make sure you are making profit on that job and be very, very clear with your numbers. If you ever feel the urge to discount or you need to do it, just always ask yourself, like, am I actually going to make money on this job if I discount? If you want to build your flywheel, there's a free email mini course in the show notes below. If you're interested in joining the Simplified Sparky mentorship, all the details are below to get in touch with me. I'll catch you next week.